Hello there, it's Sam from Cycle Factory. Welcome back to the channel. Thought about time I did a little update on my Evil Insurgent. Probably 6 months in, something like that now. Just let you know where I'm at with it really, and what I've done, what I've changed. Just a few thoughts. So let me just flip you around, you can have a look at the bike. So size large. This is the MX, so mullet. 29 at the front, 27.5 at the back, if that's new to you. So I was on the V3 Reckoning for 18 months or so before this, and then Reckoning LB before that for a couple of years. Bike before that, I had a Yeti for a while, and before that I had a following, a V1 following. So pretty much been riding Evils exclusively for a long time now. But this shift to mullet really liked. Over full 29. I do race a bit of enduro, old man's class vets, and I have been faster on the mullet, felt more comfortable on it. Turns better. I don't know if you've watched the previous one of this. I talked about that in the old Reckoning. I used to have to run it in extra low to make it to get it to turn the way I liked, which made pedal clearance quite bad really for like pedaling sections on enduros and stuff like that. Riding flats, a bit more likely to catch them as well. So with this, it turns better than the Reckoning did in extra low, but just in the low. So you've got a higher bottom bracket, steeper seat tube angle, climbs amazing. Back wheel's lighter, which seems to make it easier to pedal. Been climbing faster on this thing as well. So it started off life, as a GX build, and then things got shifted along the way, like they do when you work in a bike shop. So Core RSC brakes, which they now come with. Got HS2 rotors on. Those rotors make a big difference over the old centerline ones. More power. I only run a 180 on the back in the UK. Again, keeping that rear end nice and light as possible. Got XO1 shifting on there. Love SRAM stuff. Everyone has their favourite, don't they? But we see the SRAM stuff wears better, works better, stronger mech. Prefer it over the Shimano stuff. We've got 165 cranks on there now. That's a relatively new addition. Don't feel it on the climbs, but again, gives you a little bit extra pedal clearance on the descents. Industry 9 wheel set. Previously I'd run pretty quiet hubs, and these are really noisy, but doesn't seem to bother me really. It's you can use it as a bit of a gauge for speed really as well. So that's an RRP Pro Guard on the front. Run those all year round. Forks, so we're on a 2023 Zeb. I forget just what they call that. Is it RC3? Yeah, it's the new damper. And the one with the buttercups in the bottom. And Zebs work amazingly well. These are a step up, no denying it. They're great. And if the damping control is so easy to use. You've got slow speed in the middle, high speed on the outside, not a massive amount of clicks. Centre, middle for diddle works brilliant. But one click either way and you'll get a nice difference. Like the other day it was really cold, just soften high speed one and slow speed, and it made a massive difference. You go racing somewhere really fast, you know, you can just click it up a little bit and you're good. So with the shock, it's a 23 shock. Again with the hydraulic bottom out control for the coil, and high speed in there, and you've got your climb switch, which I never really use, it pedals that well. Slow speed, I think it's the RC2T, isn't it, this version of the Super Deluxe Ultimate. I'm about 78 kilos. The old shock works really well when you're riding really hard, but I think the damping's set up a little bit for someone a bit heavier. So with this I can really push it out, unbelievable. Almost too soft, so you've got to dial more compression damping in. You know, you've got a range from too little to too much, which is just perfect. They really seem to have done a good job with the new stuff. Bike yoke dropper, that's the standard dropper. I would quite fancy trying something where I could get the saddle a little bit more out of the way after riding the e-bike lately with a 210 drop in. Just for really steep stuff, you know, around where we are. Technical stuff. Slow tech in the mud. So Bergtech bar and stem. Running bars at 760 now. Had been running wider for a good few years actually, but really like the narrower bars. You can handle the bike better, and it doesn't feel unstable at speed or anything. Still do a bit of motocross, and those handlebars are just under 800, so I don't see why you'd need 800 on a mountain bike. But yeah, absolutely love this thing. The smaller back wheel really helps you to corner it and move the bike around and pump through stuff. And then, you know, the bigger front wheel just gives you that extra sort of stable feeling to it. Does seem to be the Goldilocks way of doing it. There's a few other little Bergtech trinkets on there, the tie bolts and stuff. Bit of grass as well there. So we do have a medium GX bike, actually that one, in stock if you're after one of these. Obviously they brought out the LS version now, which is the same but just in a different colour. That it is a really nice, like, dark ink colour, the Space Bot, I think it's called. And obviously I've been riding these a good few years. You know, if I had lots of problems with bearings and things like that, I wouldn't ride them, which certain bikes in the past have not gone back to. They're not as complicated, these things. You know, some people think there's so many bearings in there. These are just bolts, so you have a bearing there, a bearing there, a bearing there, and a big main bearing there. And I think my reckoning was still on the original main bearings, sort of 2 years in. What you find is if you wash them a lot, water will tend to, if you don't dry them off, will sit more on this one. So you might replace these every now and then. They use enduro bearings as standard, black oxide dual row, so they last really well sealed. And if you do need to change those, you take those bolts out, you've got the chip in your hand. So easy to do. 10 minutes of a job. If there's anything you'd like to know, or anything I've missed out, just leave us a comment and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe, that helps the channel massively, and we'll see you in future videos. Cheers.